The movie starts with an Asian American family living a normal life. Evelyn Wang, the head of the family, handles the business, does the taxes, and deals with the messy lives they have. While his simple husband, Wayman Wang, seems to have a positive outlook on life except the fact that he wants to get a divorce. Their daughter, Joy Wang, is a problematic girl. She has a lot of issues, but the only one that her parents care about is the fact that she is a lesbian. Evelyn is usually a bit calmer, but it's the Chinese New Year today, and they are having a huge party to celebrate. It's a stressful day. Besides, tomorrow they need to visit the IRS for tax clearance so that they can expand their business. Joy arrives with her girlfriend, Becky, hoping that she can introduce her to her grandfather, Gong Gong. Evelyn thinks that's a bad idea as Gong Gong is homophobic. Meanwhile, Wayman is going crazy and everything is messed up. The next day, Evelyn, Wayman, and Gong Gong head to the IRS office for taxes. As soon as the elevator starts moving, Wayman starts acting weird. He covers up the surveillance camera and places headphones into Evelyn's ears. He hands her a phone which is synced up with her alternate life path. Evelyn is confused, but as soon as the sync is complete, she sees her entire life play out in front of her eyes. Wayman writes down some instructions for her to follow once she reaches the meeting and tells her that she can tell no one, not even him, as he wouldn't even remember. Before Evelyn can understand, the lift reaches its destination. The tax officer, Deirdre, is the rudest person in all of the office. Evelyn can't quite concentrate, pondering at the list Wayman had given her. Her husband beside her seemed almost different now. Rather than listening to Deirdre, Evelyn decides to do the things on the list. With the janitor's closet on her mind, she pushes the button on her ear. Her mind splits and she finds herself in two places at once. Wayman pulls her into the closet. Her mind is still unstable and she can't concentrate fully. This frustrates Deirdre so much that she plans on forcing sanctions on their business. The Wayman from the closet tells her about the multiverse. There were an infinite amount of universes and they were all in danger, all at once. He tells her that she is the key to saving them all. Evelyn doesn't know if this day could get any worse. On one side, her husband messes up the whole application process, and on the other side, he is getting killed by none other than Deirdre. Wayman tells her that she will know if she is ready to fight right before dying the hands of the scary woman. Deirdre gives them until 6 in the evening to submit a new application with all issues cleared. As they leave, the paper from earlier drops and Wayman finds that it was the divorce papers. He realizes that Evelyn is acting weird because she knows about the divorce. He confronts Evelyn about the papers, but before they can clear up the situation, Evelyn notices the same murderous intent on Deirdre's eyes. In a fit of adrenaline, Evelyn punches her. Turns out that was just Deirdre's normal walking face, and now Evelyn had just assaulted her. Deirdre calls in the security, but suddenly, the multiversal Wayman comes back. The guards approach them and ask them to drop to the floor. Evelyn complies, but Wayman reaches for his chapstick and eats it completely. For some reason, Wayman can now fight like Jackie Chan. In some other versions of the universe, Evelyn is dying or being killed rather by the infamous Jobu Topaki, a cult leader. Jobu has been searching for a specific Evelyn in all universes. It is revealed that Jobu is Joy, who snaps her neck and reaches the universe where Evelyn had just assaulted Deirdre. Elsewhere, Wayman explains to Evelyn the situation they are in. He is from a universe called the Alphaverse that first discovered the powers to travel the multiverse freely using the headphones. The process is called verse jumping, and he needs her to learn how to do it to save the world. He then eats a chewing gum and presses the button on his device and tells her to blend in. As they attempt to escape the building, Wayman tells her that he has seen thousands of Evelyn, and all of them have been killed by Jobu. They don't know why she is doing this, but they do know that she is planning something bad. Evelyn, however, doesn't want anything to do with the chaos. She just wants to do her taxes and have a normal life. Wayman tells her that it's not so simple, as Jobu had been going on a killing spree in all universes. They go to the next room where Deirdre starts attacking them and they quickly hide. Wayman contacts his accomplices in the Alphaverse who tell him his next path to verse jump. He just needs to get 5 paper cuts, but before that, Deirdre beats the crap out of him. Now, Evelyn is their only hope, and Wayman tells her that she needs to verse jump, which would enable her to fight. To verse jump, they first need to concentrate on what variant of themselves they want to go to. And then there is a series of random, stupid actions that need to be performed, which is what triggers the jump. The task is that Evelyn has to profess her love to Deirdre, or she could break her arm 3 times on her own. Evelyn is not sure if she's ready for this, and Wayman thinks that this Evelyn might not be the special one and leaves her alone. Evelyn has no choice but to say the 3 magical words, but it winds her up in some other mediocre world where she's just the same boring Evelyn. Thankfully, Deirdre's throw brings her back to the world. In between the worlds, Evelyn realizes that her husband wanted to divorce her earlier. For all the years they have been married, he felt that he was a burden to her, and that she never appreciated him. She is brought back to the same universe and forced to confess her love to Deirdre. Right before Deirdre can finish her off, she confesses her love for the woman, which manages to take her to the martial arts universe, a world where she didn't run off with her husband and focused on herself to become a great kung fu master and a world-renowned actress. With her new powers, she beats up Deirdre. Wayman tells her that she is the chosen one, and that she is only using the other universes to acquire power. He warns her not to stay in one universe as it can cause massive consequences. He tells her how this had already happened to Jobu, who had traveled so many universes and lived so many lives that now she could travel throughout the multiverse, living all lives at once and none to the fullest. He reveals that Joy is Jobu Topaki, and the one that made her do all those jumps was Evelyn. During the explanation, Evelyn slips back into the world where she was successful. There she meets Waymond, who also seems to have been richer and successful than he is now. When Evelyn is pushed back into her universe, she is being arrested by the cops for the assault with Waymond, telling her to pee herself to jump into another universe. Suddenly, Joy runs to Evelyn, claiming that she will open her mind to the truth, and then shows her the bagel, which is the place where she found that none of it mattered, that every other universe, including hers, was just a random arrangement of atoms, and none of it meant anything. Evelyn starts losing herself to the bagel, but suddenly Gong Gong slams Jobu, and they all rush to another room. Evelyn, having witnessed Jobu's power, doesn't believe that she is the one who can beat her. She knows that she is worthless. Waymond agrees, and he tells her that this is what made her special, as every other Evelyn in other universes was good at one thing or another. In this universe, she was living the worst life among her other selves, which made her special. Suddenly, Joy knocks on the door. Apparently, Jobu had skipped her body and returned to the Alphaverse, so Evelyn lets her in. Waymond and Gong Gong from the Alphaverse return to their universe to deal with Jobu. Evelyn ties her up and explains whatever was happening. Alphaverse Gong Gong returns and tells Evelyn that she must kill her daughter so that Jobu cannot verse jump here, but Evelyn doesn't want to do such a thing. To save her daughter, Evelyn jumps to multiple universes, doing the most random stuff, acquiring random powers from her alternate selves, and manages to subdue Gong Gong and lock themselves in another room. Gong Gong, who for some reason is a leader in the Alphaverse, calls every jumper from the Alphaverse to apprehend Evelyn. The agents arrive, but once again, Evelyn jumps into multiple universes, acquiring powers from her kung fu world and a world where she is blind, but all her other senses are heightened. She manages to subdue the immediate threat, but Jobu is still alive. She had killed the Alphaverse Waymond, and with his last breaths, he had told her that she was the last hope. Jobu arrives back in the world, and Evelyn is quite confident that she can match her power. But before she can fight, the stress causes her to start puking and passes out. She claims that defeating Jobu is not that easy. To beat Jobu, you have to beat everyone. Everything everywhere. Evelyn was dead, and the movie was over as the credits rolled. Evelyn wakes up at the premiere of the movie. She was in the same kung fu world where she was a star. The thing is, she isn't just there. She can feel herself in the sign-holding world, a world where she is normal, and in the world where she is blind. She even returns to live in the world where she had died. She was everywhere and managed to stabilize herself in the normal universe again with a New Year's party. Jobu realizes this as well. Finally, she can tell her about her discoveries, about the truth of the world, about the fact that nothing mattered, that everything and anything we do gets washed away under a sea of endless consequences that didn't matter as well. She never wanted to kill Evelyn, she just wanted to create the Evelyn she was now. Jobu takes her to the bagel and shows it to her. She had created the truth of the world not to rule it, but to hope that she could die and that she could end it all and not be what she was. Evelyn loses herself for a while, living every life of her, not being able to completely take part in it. She feels the pain of nothingness as she travels from one life to another. In one full trip of the multiverse, she destroys all her lives. She had given up and accepted that nothing matters. However, Waymond brings her back to life. He makes her realize that yes, maybe nothing matters, maybe we are all insignificant and our lives have no purpose in the grand scheme of things, but that doesn't mean we can't find something to cherish. There is always someone or something to love, and that means everything. Jobu is still persistent about leaving and dying for all she cares. She starts walking to the bagel, and Evelyn heads to stop her. She wouldn't let her do the same thing her father had done, which is to let go of her daughter. Evelyn goes into every universe, setting it straight, letting the cult followers of Jobu realize that they can still find something worthwhile in their lives, something to pursue or someone to love. She even introduces Becky as Joy's girlfriend, but Joy is having none of it. She's happy that her mother found a way, but it's too late. She doesn't want to hurt her mom anymore. Evelyn, having nothing but hope that her daughter might change her mind, lets her go. Letting go is also love sometimes, and this was one of those sometimes. Jobu dives into the bagel of truth, but a hand reaches out to her and saves her. Joy was back, and all had fallen back into place all at once. A week later, the whole family is back at the tax office. Life is back to normal, and there is nowhere this family wouldn't want to be together. Thank you for watching. What do you think of this movie? Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this.